morning. It's the first morning on the trip to Rovaniemi, and we are currently located in Kiruna. I have to find the issue with the diesel heater. It won't go on max. I'm not quite sure what the cause is, but I will let you know really soon.
Not a single morning that we want to miss out and enjoying a good coffee during our road trip in the vans, especially while sharing great company and conversations. Little do we know that we are getting ourselves into as we embark on this adventure eastward into the deep wilderness of Lapland in northern Scandinavia. However, before we head that way, there is a world famous spot we need to see that should definitely be on your list.
You probably are curious about who is with me in the other van, and his name is Anders, and I will tell you a little bit more about it later in this video, so stay tuned to follow up. We have been curious about the little settlement Jukkasjärvi, close to Kiruna. It's about 15 minutes to 18 minutes drive away, and here it's the Ice Hotel. It's really famous and you probably have heard about it. So stay tuned to check this out. Here in the Ice Hotel, it's really spacious. It was looking like from outside it's really tiny, but I can tell it's definitely worth 400 kronas to pay for having a nice visit inside here with a lot of artwork and a lot of rooms. Wow, this room is really amazing, especially with the sound design and the light design and the artwork they have made here. You should definitely check it out by yourself.
Oh, slow living can be life-giving, although we might disagree. If most our lives are lived in black and white, it makes the gray so hard to see. The same old people, the same old steeples on every corner for half a mile. But nothing changes, and ain't it strange that we didn't notice as a child that slow living can be life-giving. Although we might disagree, if most our lives are lived in black and white, it makes the gray so hard to see. Living in a dry state where we all say grace, buying liquor on a Sunday across the county lines, where the raindrops rolling off the rooftops, making the clouds stop for just a little while. Oh, slow living can be life-giving, although we might disagree. If most our lives are lived in black and white, it makes the gray so hard.
I have no words how to describe the ice hotel. It was so mind-blowing. The piece of art which they managed to create inside and renting out the rooms, it's so mind-blowing. It's pretty amazing, and you definitely should check it out. So now we are heading more south and towards outside of the polar circle, but then we will be on the borderline later on, which you can see and follow up in this episode if you stay tuned. And now we have nice, big Swedish roads with a lot of forest on both sides. The only thing you need to be aware about is if you have moose crossing the road. You can drive 100 km per hour here, which I wouldn't recommend, but it's your own decision what you will do. You know, if you drive so fast, suddenly something is jumping in front of your car, well, can be a tricky situation, but it's up to you. This I will not mess around with you. It's also really interesting when you are used to Norwegian roads and when you cross the border to northern Sweden, which is located in the Lapland. It's way different. It's not the same. So it's a bit hard to describe, but you see it in the footage here.
So hard to see. Sitting on the porch steps in the town where we met, after the sun sets on a Friday night. Southern fireflies lighting up the night sky, lucky to realize one more time that slow living can be life-giving, although we might disagree. If most our lives are lived in black and white, it makes the gray so hard to see. It makes the gray so hard to see.
og sage i ved.
Ja.
Come on, baby, let's go west. Let's go west to the promised land. Take my hand again. Load up the car and drive.
We have about -8 Celsius here outside in northern Sweden, located in Lapland. I like to put the challenge on myself to make the fire only with a firestone and the sparks. So it will be really interesting if it's working out. So it's maybe something to laugh about for you at home.
Load up the car and drive real far. I could play for cash at the Walmart. Don't think twice this time, you know I'm real fond of Oregon.
Now we have a moment
Rain
of
outside while I write my song. It don't rain enough around here, and you know it don't. Sunset Drive is quite alright, but we can't stay here forever. The future's been too bright for too long, so take some time and get certified. I'll pump the gas and baby we'll drive. Interstate 75, so okay.
Åh, herregud.
Don't be afraid to come
Kom on, du måste hänga.
with me. There are some things that we need to see, but they're on the other side. Where that green grass turns to white. Baby,
Så flängt dere har vært på Kan ikke blokka, men det visste ikke heller ikke bildet.
we arrive will take some time to acclimate a state of mind to that new horizon, cross the borderline where folks have to fight to get to us.
So as we are talking about the Arctic style, everyone knows in Norway that they used to have born Vikings.
Camilla has also decided to join our road trip through northern Scandinavia. And you might maybe ask yourself, who is Camilla and Anders? Let me explain in a few seconds. Anders I have met in Scotland through a community on Facebook which called Vanlife Norge, which is an internal group for Norwegian vanlifers. And I'm really happy about it that I got to connect with him. Maybe his wife has been a little bit skeptic. Who is he driving to in Sigafjord, which is 50 minutes away? It's a different discussion for a different day. And Camilla I also have met here in Scotland many years ago. It's a really nice person, and we have been on some camping trips with tent many years in Lofoten. It has been really fun, especially we had only bad weather on the particular day when we have been at Unstad at the beach camping.
I've been quiet about one thing which I didn't told you about, and this is my. You have seen my previous video how I mounted the underslug water tank, and this was a bit wrong, or it didn't went well, to be honest. And one reason to that is that the pipe system underneath the van is not good angle, so the water can flow into the tank, and that's why it has squeeze, so the water is not draining. As you see here, it's full of water, and I was unplugging it today to at least be able to use a shower today in my van, but this is still a problem. But there's one good solution and a good tip which you can use, and you use this I bought in Sweden, and this is translated, it's a windscreen liquid, and it's a concentrate. So this I used earlier in Kiruna for solve a problem that the ice is blocking the pipe, and was actually working, but it's still not completely solved. So I will wait until tomorrow, pouring a little bit more in it, and see what will happen. Otherwise I need to use a heat gun tomorrow and try to roast it somehow. We will see, but stay tuned to follow up. in the next episode. So far it has been a really nice trip. So we went east from northern Norway towards Sweden, and now we are really close to Finland, but it's still a couple of hours of driving left. But as you see in the footage, the landscape, it's way different compared to Norway. And it's good, because it's also a good opportunity to explore something else in the near surroundings, which is not so far away to drive by car. It can be really tiring driving in the conditions here, especially when it's ice in winter. And you also never know what you will encounter along the road with animals if you jump in front of your car. As you also have seen that there suddenly has been moose really close to the road, like 3 meters, and planned to go over, but as I slowed down it backed up again. But psychology, the logic of animals, it's really hard to predict. If they decide to go in one direction, they're just running, so it's really hard to understand it. It's not my my depth of field, so I cannot say so much about it. And also hope you enjoyed the episode so far, and there's yet more to come, so stay tuned to follow up. I wish you a good night, and see you on the next day.